Hello everyone, welcome to our presentation. My name is Dilruba. Today we are going to discuss a comprehensive intervention for performance improvement where we will discuss the case study of Wilson.
Hi everyone, I'm Elizabeth Paranzo and I'm also going to present this presentation.
Okay, let's start. Introduction. In our case study, Wilson is a direct support professional at Sunflower Field, and it is a residential agency for adults with developmental disabilities and psychiatric conditions. He usually works the 4 to 11 p.m. shift and is assigned to support Jeremy on one-to-one. Wilson has performance issues mainly related to data collection. He is responsible for collecting data, including frequency tracking, monitoring skill acquisition progress, and completing ABC documentation. Despite having 15 years of experience, Wilson has demonstrated significant performance deficit in real-time data entry. There have been 17 reported instances of missing data in performance files. The main concern is Wilson's suspected practice of completing data sheet at the end of shift rather than in real time. These performance issues have a direct impact on treatment planning and the overall quality of care provided to Jeremy and other residents. Next, identifying and prioritizing performance deficit. Through our analysis, we have identified several interconnected performance deficits in Wilson work. This includes delayed real data entry, missing documentation across 70 performance files, inconsistent following of procedure, and inaccurate data collection practice. After careful consideration, we have prioritized the real-time data entry deficit as our primary focus because it has a big impact on treatment decision, monitoring resident progress, and overall quality of care. Additionally, addressing this core deficit will likely improve the other related documentation issue. By focusing our intervention on real-time data collection practice, we can establish a foundation for broader performance improvement. Next, pinpoint definition and objective. Definition is real-time data entry is defined as using the designated tablet to record all assigned data and with 5 minutes of observing each targeted behavior or completing each trial. Example, Wilson client engaged in a target behavior of throwing out garbage following a meal. Wilson observed the client throw out the meal, play, walks over to the tablet and documents a correct response for the client within 5 minutes of the observation. And a non-example would be Wilson observed a client engage in a targeted behavior of hand washing and write on a post-it that they completed the task and 20 minutes later document data for each targeted response of the task analysis. Our goal is Wilson will enter all required data for client into the digital system within 5 minutes for each opportunity observed at 90% accuracy for 3 consecutive months. Next, PDC, HS analysis and intervention development. Our intervention plan is built on a detailed review using the PDC HS analysis, which identified specific environmental barrier affecting Wilson's performance. The PDC HS analysis identified key environmental variables affecting his performance, including unclear instruction, and insufficient training, disorganized material, inconsistent performance feedback, and a lack of consistent monitoring and reinforcement. Based on those findings, we have developed a multi-component intervention that includes behavior skill training with instruction, modeling, rehearsal, and feedback component, electronic data collection tool to simplify the documentation process, improve material organization to ensure accessibility, a professional development, focused reinforcement system, and structured performance feedback session. This comprehensive approach addresses all identified environmental barriers rather than solely focusing personal shortcoming on Wilson's individual skills.
Okay, we're going to move forward and discuss the empirical research that supports the interventions that we chose for Wilson. Let's go over here. Okay. So Earth et al. 2019. He his research supported the BST interventions with the self-monitoring component, and the study examined the effectiveness of behavior skills training to improve the training fidelity in the human service staff. Next was Novak et al. 2019, who also supported the behavior skills training intervention for the self-management, the self-monitoring component for Wilson. We utilize that research to support Wilson's BST model. 2019, this meta-analysis assessed the efficacy of behavior skills training in supporting educators and aides working with the students with developmental disabilities. Next, we utilized Kong and Iwata 2016's research that explored how social reinforcement, praise, and approval influence the acquisition of new skills. And the final research that we used for the BST and modeling and feedback was Johnson et al. 2023. Those findings indicated that while multiple training approaches were in use, the BST modeling and feedback, there's a variation in procedural fidelity in the outcome measurement, and the paper called for standardized assessments and the inclusion of generalization and maintenance data to evaluate long-term effectiveness. So this helped support us guide Wilson's interventions. Okay, now we're going to move on and discuss some social validity considerations. First, we ensured that the interventions respected Wilson's values and his preferences, making sure that they aligned with his professional identity as a direct support professional. So we framed the intervention as an enhancement of Wilson's existing skills rather than a critique, which encouraged sense of ownership and self-efficacy in the process. To address practicality, we streamlined data collection by using the tablet and the application, recognizing the need for efficiency in Wilson's daily work environment. Lastly, we implemented materials organization system to ensure that all necessary tools are easily accessible. This helped to minimize any disruptions during his interactions with clients. Okay. Regarding respect for the values and preferences, these interventions were designed to align with Wilson's values and his professional identity, as we said earlier. So the interventions were framed as an enhancement of Wilson's existing skills and promoted ownership. Data collection was streamlined using the tablet. And okay. We also incorporated a maintenance plan, which the intervention ensured long-term performance improvements through a gradual shift from frequent feedback to natural workplace support. So we faded out those prompts. Formal feedback sessions were to decrease as Wilson maintains the 90% of timely data entry for the 3 months. While reinforcement transitions to intermittent reinforcement, performance declines. So we would add a booster BST session and increase monitoring in that case. So we would provide immediate targeted support to address emerging issues. And we would monitor that as well. Okay. Regarding cultural responsiveness, we, in our intervention, we designed this with cultural and contextual sensitivity, and we ensured that we were respecting Wilson's expertise and professional autonomy throughout the process. So rather than imposing changes, the plan actively involves him in the process, valuing his input and focusing on enhancing existing skills rather than implying incompetence. By addressing environmental barriers instead of placing sole responsibility on Wilson, the plan promotes autonomy while allowing for adjustments based on emerging cultural or personal factors. Now, this intervention takes a comprehensive and evidence approach by addressing the environmental barriers rather than focusing solely on Wilson's performance, which is key here. So it combines the BST for skill development, the electronic systems to reduce obstacles with timely data collection, and reinforcement to sustain long-term success. While effective challenges include potential technology issues, competing priorities, and potential turnover requiring retraining. Overall, it does balance skill building and motivation while improving the system for accurate data collection for Wilson. Okay. So in closing, this report highlighted how environmental factors influence employees' performance, showing that Wilson's challenges stemmed from system failures rather than personal shortcomings. The PDCHS helped identify those barriers and develop targeted interventions that were evidence-based. Overall, this assignment was a meaningful learning opportunity for both myself and Dilaruba. This learning opportunity depended on our understanding of performance management and effective intervention strategies. Thank you so much for listening. The following will show our references. Thank you.
Thank you.